Good morning, everybody. I am Babu, a High Court advocate at Hyderabad. I have studied Constitution for about 5 years and wrote a book called Indian Politics versus Indian Constitution and published it through Notion Press, Chennai. The book is available online worldwide on Amazon, Flipkart, Kobo, etc. online platforms. After reading the Constitution for 5 years, I understood that whatever is happening in India in the name of the Constitution on social, political and economic fronts is not in accordance with the Constitution. It is totally against what is stated in the Constitution. As a result, India remained developing even after 75 years of independence. There is utter poverty, economic divide of language, caste, religion, region, and whatnot. If the Constitution is truly followed, such things should have not been in existence. I started this video series to bring the constitutional content and constitutional intent to the notice of the citizens with fond hope that it would change the social, political, economic face of India for good. As such, I request you, my dear friends, to subscribe, share and comment on my videos. I would like to reply to your comments either through a reply video or directly. So far we made 2 videos. In the first video I was explaining you why India cannot be social and secular. In my second video I explained you how India cannot be federal. I also explained you how the Honorable Supreme Court case in S.R. Bommai was not constitutionally correct. Several of my friends expressed doubts whether I could find fault with the system which has been in existence for the last 75 years. Approved by the Honorable Supreme Court, acknowledged by the political parties in power and in opposition, and accepted by the press and the intelligentsia. They said, how can you question the existing practice? Then I said, it is not the question how long a practice has been in practice. The only question is whether it is correct one or not is the issue. Then they asked me to explain how I can say that there should not be elected governments in the states. If not, what governments could be there in the states? I request you to consider what I say. I told you that election of Chief Minister with majority in the Assembly and election of Prime Minister with majority in the Parliament are contained in Pakistan Constitution Article 95 and 91 and 130, but not under Indian Constitution. Then the question how this lopsided or faulty system has come into existence, how it has escaped the piercing looks of the judiciary, press, polity and the intelligentsia of this country. Please remember, India gained independence in 1947 when there was no constitution. As such, Jawaharlal Nehru was sworn in as Prime Minister with majority in the Constituent Assembly through Lord Mount Batten, the last British Viceroy in India. That was the system prevalent in England. The Constitution came into effect from 1950 when it was seen that the Constitution prescribed presidential democracy for India but not parliamentary democracy like UK. election of president, his powers, oath of office, etc. we have taken from the American Constitution. I say UK is parliamentary democracy because people elect parliament members elect the prime minister, and he rules the country. There is no elected president in the UK. There is only hereditary king. As such, a British system cannot be equated with the Indian constitutional system. The Britain does not have a written constitution. It follows parliamentary conventions, which is called Westminster style of governance. Whereas in America and in India, there are elected presidents, but not elected prime ministers. In UK, there is elected prime minister, there is no elected president. In India, there is elected president, but not elected prime minister. In India, ministers are appointed by the elected president. Then how this system has come into existence? Because when 1950 Constitution has come into existence, then presidential elections were conducted. If Jawaharlal Nehru or some other contested as president and ruled the country, it would have been constitutional. But unfortunately, what has happened, to contest presidential election, one has to resign to his minister's post. Whereas there was ad hoc cabinet from 1947 to 1952 under the prime ministership of Nehru. First general elections were conducted in 1952. So in 1950, if anybody wants to contest as president, he has to first resign to his ministry. But Jawaharlal Nehru's ministry consisted, Nehru was prime minister, there was Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel, Babu Rajendra Prasad, C. Rajagopala chary, Gopal Swami Iyengar, Abdul Kalam Azad, Jagjivan Ram, and another 7 or 8 ministers from Indian National Congress. There was also Dr. Ambedkar from Scheduled Caste Federation of India political party. There was Sham Prasad Mukherjee from Hindu Maha Sabha. There was Mathai as independent. And there was one Baldev Singh from Panthic party. That way, the first ad hoc committee of Jawaharlal Nehru consisted of ministers from different political parties, not Congress party alone. Now, if anybody wants to become or contest for president post, first he has to resign to the minister's post. To avoid this, all of them together proposed Babu Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India, and they supported. He won that position with 70% of the votes. He became president of India. With that gratitude, he confined himself to the Rashtrapathy Bhavan and signed and stamped whatever is sent to him by the Prime Minister, and achieved the title President is a rubber stamp. That kind of obedience to the Prime Minister made him president for 3 terms. But Nehru family knows that president is not a rubber stamp. The entire constitution about powers and discretions of the President of India, the name of Chief Minister and Prime Minister are found only at 3 places in the Constitution. That they shall be appointed by the President, they shall be removed by the President or the Governor, and they have to report everything to the President and the Governor. Except this, you don't find the name of President, the name of the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister anywhere in the Constitution. The entire Constitution is about powers, duties and discretions of the President of India. So Srimati Indira Gandhi, during the emergency period in 1976, introduced 42nd Amendment, whereby it said that President is bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers. He may return the advice for reconsideration for a maximum of one time. If the same advice is tendered again, he is bound to follow the advice. This in fact is an insult to the language. If anybody says all powers are yours, but you have to follow according to my advice, that means you do not have any power whatsoever. So what happened? Prime Minister has, let us say, he has got legislative majority, and President is the executive. Now you made zero the executive power. You have clubbed it with the prime ministerial power. So the very fundamental principle of democracy, that legislative and executive and judiciary shall be different in three hands, is vitiated. No, you have killed the executive power and merged it with the legislative power. So prime minister or chief minister would become a dictator. It destroys the opposition parties, resorts to rampant corruption. It is not democracy. In a democracy, there should be legislators should legislate. Executive should execute the legislations. Judiciary should interpret the legislations. And the executive will implement such judicial orders. This is democracy. In view of this, please understand, democracy has not born in India yet. In very 1956 itself, it was nipped in the bud. We have made the executive zero, and only the majority person is ruling. This is in accordance with Pakistan constitution, where no ruler has completed his term of 5 years, and most of them were killed by the persons who have come into power. It is almost the same way is going in India. Opposition chief ministers are being imprisoned. Opposition parties are being oppressed. But please remember, I am not finding fault with either Nehru or the Congress party. In the Nehru's ad hoc cabinet, there was Justice Party was there, Scheduled Caste Federation of India, Ambedkar was there, Hindu Maha Sabha was there, Indian National, all of them to protect their posts as ministers, they have compromised. And from 1950 itself, India remained undemocratic. Thank you for viewing and listening. I request you once again to subscribe, share and comment on my video. Thank you.